It's now time for the Pony Cake Sports Podcast with your hosts, Josh Stevens, Tim Thompson, and Tom Schultz. Woo!
Hey there, everybody. We are back with another episode. And as always, I'm here with Tim and Tom. Guys, how we doing?
I'm doing great, Joshua. Fantastic week of football. I'm excited to get to discuss it. It was good for fantasy purposes, good for real NFL games. Just glad football's back, baby.
I love it. That round of noon games this past week were it's probably one of my favorite times over the last couple of years. Just so much crazy stuff. Kickers missing things all over the place. Crazy catches, just great plays. Just absolutely fantastic week of football like you alluded to there, Tom.
We're going to go ahead and start off with that Thursday night game. And I think a lot of people thought the Ravens were going to go in here and blow out the Bengals after that shellacking that they put on the Buffalo Bills the week before. But the Bengals win this game 34-23.
I predicted the Bengals to win. I'm glad they did. They almost blew this game. A huge first half for A.J. Green. 3 touchdowns in that first half. Him and Andy Dalton look like they're on the same page. This team's going to struggle, though, without Joe Mixon, in my honest opinion. When he was going out with his knee issues, that offense just seemed to struggle. When he was back on the field, they were able to move the football. He's going to be the guy that makes his team go. They're going to struggle the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I want to say I was very surprised that the Ravens let A.J. Green do that to them. So a team that knows him, knows the way he goes about his game, and just to not be prepared for that and make someone else beat you. I mean, I know Tyler Boyd had a great week as well, but still, why are you letting A.J. Green beat you? It just makes no sense to me when you're playing a division rival.
Next game, the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons wins this game 31-24. Big takeaway that I wanted to bring up to you guys. Tevin Coleman, 16 carries for 107 yards. Pretty impressive. Replacing Devonta Freeman. If Devonta Freeman, who has been injury prone, is Tevin Coleman, quote unquote, should he be that guy? And then also on the other side, Christian McCaffrey, only 8 rushes, but 14 receptions for over 100 yards.
If Freeman's healthy, I think he deserves to get a piece of the pie. But Coleman, this is just him kind of introducing himself to the league a little bit more. He's a free agent next year, so it's good to see him carry the load because he's going to get a job somewhere next year. He's shown that he can be a reliable running back in the league right now. And yeah, that Panthers offense without Greg Olsen, pretty much exactly how I thought it'd go. A lot of short passes to Christian McCaffrey and a lot of peppering Devin Funchess with targets.
Yep, like you said, props to the Panthers for trying to push a comeback there. Thought Cam might have been able to do it in all honesty. But to your point, Falcons come out there after a tough week one. Thursday Night Football had the long week there to prepare for a division rival, and Matt Ryan made the best of it. Even had a rushing touchdown.
Two.
Oh, yeah, 2 of them. I saw the spin one. I didn't see the second one.
Jerk ass.
LA Chargers beat the Buffalo Bills 31-20. Phillip Rivers with another 3 touchdowns here. Austin Eckler, though, 11 carries. And Keenan Allen did not go over the 100-yard mark, but Melvin Gordon, 2 touchdowns receiving.
Yeah, the game was pretty much over in the first half. The Bills, that's full rebuild mode right now. The one big takeaway is Vontae Davis retiring at halftime. That is fantastic. And Derwin James, absolute stud for the LA Chargers football team. He lasted way too long in the draft. Should have been a top 10 pick, one of the best defenders overall.
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers are I think quietly much better than people are giving them credit for. I think that they'll push into the playoffs this year, and the Bills are just terrible. My favorite part about this week was I saw a video. I believe it was leaving the Bills game. They had like Bills Sports Talk Radio going on, and they were at a toll, and 2 Bills fans got out of their car and just started beating the crap out of each other. So, Bills Mafia, I love you. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'm hoping we get to see our boy Josh Allen here for a majority of the season.
Next game, the Vikings versus the Packers, end in a tie, 29-29 after overtime. Kicker for the Vikings Mr. Carlson missed 3 field goals in this game. Dalvin Cook got injured. Adam Thielen had a big game. Stephon Diggs had a big game. Very interesting overall, with Aaron Rodgers only throwing 1 touchdown.
The Packers team looked like probably one of the better Packer teams I've seen for the first 3 quarters of this football game. Then they gave up 22 points in the fourth quarter. A couple amazing throws by Kirk Cousins. That last one to Adam Thielen was amazing. I thought that was picked. That Clay Matthews hit was kind of bogus.
It wasn't kind of bogus. Let's call it like it is. That's a terrible call.
Yeah, I feel like that shouldn't be the rule, but it is. No. They want these scores to be high scoring games, and that's exactly what they're getting right now.
Honestly, what they should do, if this is how it's going to be, they should just have 7 guys stand back in the secondary, and then the quarterback says hike, and they have to try to stop the pass. That's what it's coming to. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I hate the Green Bay Packers. I hate the Minnesota Vikings. That's not a penalty. He did nothing wrong. Nothing. Well, 0. Packers won that football game.
Technically,
it pains me to say that.
Technically, he did.
Pains me to say that.
I said it was a penalty.
Clay Matthews got screwed, and the fact that the NFL comes out then this week and backs it up and says that this will be used as a teaching video to show people what's not allowed, get the hell out of here. Bogus. 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 Talk about kickers. Like you said, the Vikings kicker missed 3. Mason Crosby missed one after the timeout where he made one. That was great. Great back and forth. I want to give a big shout out. Not the biggest fan of one Stephon Diggs. That play that he made on that final touchdown, or was it, the 2-point conversion, where he caught it essentially at his shoelaces and brought it back up. How many times we see wide receivers in the NFL drop that pass? All the time. So props to Stephon Diggs. Great game, and I'm glad it ended in a tie, in all honesty, even though the Packers should have won.
The Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans win this game 20-17. The leading receiver was from a fake punt for a touchdown.
For Tennessee.
They won, though.
Will Fuller had a big game, 113 yards. This is a terrible, absolutely terrible loss for the Houston Texans. A lot of people were considering this team to be a dark horse Super Bowl contender, and they go out and lose to freaking Blaine Gabbert.
Yep.
Jadeveon Clowney was out. That defense could not get after really the quarterback. That couldn't cause turnovers. I just don't think this team's real right now. I'm not seeing anything positive. Deshaun Watson looks like a complete rookie. We were calling that he was going to have some regression in fantasy and total yardage, touchdowns, and that's happening right now.
I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back here a little bit, because I know it's only been 2 weeks, but everything that I've said about Deshaun Watson going into this season has held true. We'll see how it plays out, see if he can't get back to a little bit more of himself. But I don't see it. And the Titans, it's the Deion Lewis show right now. I mean, that's about it. Derrick Henry's been garbage. All the receivers have been garbage. I mean, like you said, it's Blaine Gabbert. Unbelievable.
Cleveland Browns, New Orleans Saints. Saints win this 21-18.
The Browns are obviously cursed. There's some bad juju with this football team right now. They should have won both games this season. I truly believe if Baker Mayfield was playing for the Browns that they'd be 2-0. I know Tim does not agree with my statement, but I'm not a big believer in Tyrod Taylor, but that defense is the truth. I truly believe in them. I think they're going to find a way to win a couple football games this year. The Saints, they got lucky. I'm just kind of mind blown that they only put 21 points on in their home dome.
You know, I don't even necessarily disagree if Baker was playing. I don't think Baker is that much better than Tyrod right now. Tyrod, yeah. It just comes down to, like you said, I mean, the Browns could very, very easily be 2-0. And I was laughing hysterically at somewhere on NFL Reddit. I'm trying to find it right now, and I can't. But they came out with this stat that the Browns, apparently the Browns kicker had been struggling with a hamstring or groin issue, and the Browns still played him. And now they're cutting him. And apparently the kicker that they signed made only 63% of his field goals in college. Not even in the NFL. He's never even kicked in the NFL before. In college. Add that to the Brown. You see the Browns fans on Bourbon Street kicking tryouts. There's nothing I can say, and there's nothing that will surprise me anymore about the Cleveland Browns. Just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Dolphins-Jets. Dolphins win that game 20-12. Dolphins are now 2-0.
I think the whole state of Florida is undefeated right now. I think they're 6-0 total, which that's pretty impressive. Not many people thought that would happen. The Dolphins, they went in there and they beat a rookie quarterback. Darnold had a couple bad plays at the end of the first half. They really should have had a touchdown there. Had a wide open receiver, overthrew him, and then the pass where the time ran out, it could have been a better pass. But he looks like a rookie quarterback. He's not Jesus Christ yet. All the people that were all aboard that train thinking they had a chance to win the East this year, you have no chance. You're still rebuilding a little bit. You're headed in the right direction though. But big time win for Ryan Tannehill and the Miami Dolphins.
That Dolphins defense actually looks pretty good.
Yep, yeah. I mean, and a big win for Adam Gase, kind of securing, who he is as a coach, going out there and starting 2-0. Still think it's a probably 9-7, maybe 10-6 team at best, but. The Jets kind of are who they thought. I think we're going to see a lot of this out of them this year. Probably going to float around that 500 number. Sam Darnold, like we saw the good on Monday night. You're going to see some of the bad here as well, but still a lot to be excited about if you're a Jets fan.
Kansas City Chiefs 2-0 now. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers. They won this game 42-17. Patrick Mahomes, the young gunslinger, threw the ball for 28 times, 326 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
It's really it's just absolutely insane the type of offense this is right now. They completely built this around Patrick Mahomes, giving him tons of playmakers around him, and he's succeeding. It's good to see a young quarterback do this. He's adding some excitement. Plus, with the new rules, this team's going to be able to play, or they're going to be in every football game. They just have too many weapons to try to cover, and this is a huge loss for the Steelers. This team is falling apart right now, especially with AB not showing up Monday. I don't know if he showed up Tuesday or if they had an off day.
He did. I mean, that turned out to be pretty much nothing, if you believe what's on. Now, I've heard reports that it was, Rosenhaus came out, said it was nothing.
Yeah.
But insiders in the Steelers organization say, I believe the quote was, it's a circus right now in Pittsburgh. You have to think Mike Tomlin's going to be on the hot seat a little bit there if they have a bad year here. Back to Kansas City, though, I think it's worth me admitting again and again, like I have before after week 1, and I'm going to continue to do it. I've been completely wrong about Patrick Mahomes. You guys hit the nail on the head. This guy is an absolute beast, and I am hoping. I get you have to have the Andy Reid, there to bring a quarterback along, but I'm hoping this brings back the days of don't rush your quarterback, let him sit for a year, let him sit in the system. As long as you have a stable organization where you know the coaching, the playbook, all that stuff's going to be the same, let him sit. Kind of go old school here. It is paying extreme dividends right now for the Kansas City Chiefs. He looks like he's been playing quarterback in the NFL for 5 years.
Eagles versus the Bucks. We had Nick Foles versus Ryan the Notorious Fitzpatrick. Everybody's been putting the side-by-sides of Fitzpatrick and Conor McGregor. Just makes me laugh. But Fitzmagic over 400 yards again for 4 touchdowns. No running game whatsoever for the Buccaneers. They're relying on that old bastard's arm.
I don't know why any team playing the Bucks don't just set everyone. You just line up in a nickel or dime package every time. Why are you putting more than a standard 4-man line up there? The Bucks can't run. They have no one. Peyton Barber's been atrocious. Why do it? Listen, props to Fitzmagic. I love you. I'm hoping that if they win this next week, he comes out with another unbuttoned shirt, but he has the Conor McGregor a tattoo on his chest.
That would be funny.
I love it. I'm all about it. But the fact the Eagles, such a great defense, a lot of pride there. Their offensive line's been halfway decent for Fitzmagic. How aren't you just dropping people back and put it in a zone where I still believe, you mentioned before the show, Tom, that Fitzmagic, it has a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I still believe that if you drop back in a zone all game, Fitzmagic's not going to continually make all the right decisions. He's not a over 400 yards a game player. He's not.
Well, teams are. It's not like they're playing freaking 4-6 bear defense against the Bucks right now. They're making plays. People act like the Bucks don't have playmakers. They got freaking Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, completely underrated. 2 talented tight ends, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, Deshaun Jackson. Those are good weapons.
Yeah.
They are comparable to what the Chiefs have. Yeah, I don't think Ryan Fitzmagic is as good as Patrick Mahomes, but who really knows? They got a new play caller there. Dirk Cutter isn't calling the plays. This Bucs team's on fire. Again, they opened the game with a 75-yard touchdown pass to Deshaun Jackson. They're just letting it loose. They're having fun out there, and they beat the Super Bowl champs. The Eagles, they are banged up. They're really banged up. They're bringing Carson Wentz back this week. I think part of that's because of this loss. I think if they won this football game, they might have had him sit out another week.
I agree with that.
But the Eagles, they don't have many weapons on the offensive side of the football, and that Bucs defense was able to keep Nick Foles in check.
Colts, and I'm actually really happy the Bucs won. I have now picked them to lose 2 games in a row.
Just keep going.
So I will keep picking them to lose over and over again. Moving on, we have the Colts versus the Redskins. Your Colts, Tom, win this game 21-9.
There is no way the last 5 or 6 years with Andrew Luck that he has a type of game like he had in this game and they win. There's absolutely no way. This game was won by the defense. Darius Leonard, that rookie that we were high upon, the linebacker, 18 tackles, had a sack, forced fumble. This kid was playing like a maniac, like his nickname was one of the highest graded linebackers in pro football by PFF. I just like what I'm seeing from this defense. They look like a well-coached team, nothing like the Chuck Pagano-led era, and feeling good about this team as a whole right now.
Washington just said, man, we got Alex Smith. They just took a sigh. Like, we thought Alex Smith was going to be... We thought we were getting Kansas City Alex Smith, and we're not. We forgot that we don't have nearly enough people around to make this work. So not a good performance. AP already starting to slow down a little bit there. And it's only week 2. It's going to get worse before it gets better, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? I'd rather have Alex Smith than Sam Bradford. Cardinals put up a goose egg against the LA Rams. Bradford, 90 yards passing, 17 for 27. So he threw the ball for 27 times and got 90 yards. Are the Rams? Is the Rams defense that good, or is Sam Bradford that bad?
It's both.
Yeah, I think the Rams are a top 10 unit overall, but I think the Cardinals can give a running to the Buffalo Bills as the worst team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I'm glad, again, with how bad that offensive line is. They're taking, hopefully, from the Chiefs here. Let freaking my boy from Josh Rosen, let him sit.
Yeah.
Let him sit. Why are you going to put him into that cluster right now? Larry Fitzgerald's getting banged up out there. David Johnson can't find any room to do anything. I think he had 1 garbage time touchdown in week 1, did nothing in week 2. They're going to continue to struggle, and they went from the awesome Rams defense to now Khalil Mack. Best of luck to you, Arizona. They might get shut out again.
Next game, the Detroit Lions versus the San Francisco 49ers. Did you guys watch the end of this game?
I did.
So I kind of feel bad.
Why?
For the Lions. What do you mean, why?
Why?
Did you watch it all the way into the entirety?
Yeah.
So the Lions, I think with the 49ers...
The pick?
Yeah. The 49ers are trying to run the clock out. And when I say run the clock out, they're throwing the goddamn ball. And the Lions pick 6 the ball.
Yep.
Bring it to the house, score, everybody's going insane. Holding on the DB on the opposite side of the field prior to the pass.
Why do you feel bad?
I feel bad. The Lions always come from behind to try to win these games.
But you know what?
It's just so
I'm glad
weird.
it's happening to your boy, who's from the Patriots. Why am I blanking?
Matt Patricia.
Thank you, Matt Patricia. I'm glad this is happening to him now. Okay, I was glad we got to see a small glimpse of Kerryon Johnson. We saw a little bit of a jump there. I feel like that's going to increase, which it should. And listen, this is a wake-up call, I hope, to Matthew Stafford. You can't keep going down. It worked for you the last couple years, and when I say worked, it means to get you to 9-7 or whatever. The thing that has prevented this team from being a big-time playoff team is getting down big early. For the last, 4 years? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. They are 0-2. They are in the basement of the NFC North. And I don't see it getting that much better this year. I think this is going to be a year where they are bad. They're not going to be Arizona/Buffalo bad, but they're going to push for a top 5 pick probably.
Yeah, I think they're the worst team in the NFC North right now, and it's not even close.
They do have 3 good wide receivers in Golden Tate, Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones.
2 good receivers.
Who?
Marvin Jones isn't that good.
Um,
He relies like 100% on a big play.
I agree.
That's all he is.
I agree.
He's Will Fuller.
But there's still 3 decent wide receivers.
Yeah.
Pecking order, with Kenny Galladay getting these touchdowns, obviously Golden Tate's getting more of the targets.
Mm-hmm.
How are you breaking these guys down fantasy-wise? Is Golden Tate still the guy to own over Kenny Galladay?
I don't know. Personally, I'd rather have Tate right now. Yeah, Galladay's done it for 2 weeks, but we've seen the consistency out of Tate, and I hope they keep losing because I own Tate all over the place, and I like him getting the 14 targets a game. But Galladay's a freaking monster. But I'm worried this week because I feel like Bill Belichick's going to double team him all game.
Probably. There's a very good chance of that. Moving on, we have the Oakland Raiders at the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos win this game 20-19 with a field goal at the end of the game. Philip Lindsay running the ball for over 100 yards, and Royce Freeman taking a back seat. I think he only had like 16 plays on the field.
I hated everything about this game. I thought Denver should have beaten the brakes off the Raiders. The Raiders came in hot. Raiders didn't have a pass rush in the fourth quarter. Couldn't shut down Case Keenum. I know Gruden got asked about it, and I saw a bunch of the game clips of Bruce Irvin just completely not giving a shit on that last drive of the game. It's just a complete disaster in Oakland, exactly how I thought it'd be.
Honestly, Oakland got lucky a little bit that it was even this close. Case Keenum had a couple plays get turned back. He had that Cortland Sutton play, which that should have been a touchdown in my opinion. And they also had a Demaryius Thomas. He had like 2 or 3 touchdowns that weren't touchdowns.
He had like 3 drops.
Yeah.
Demaryius
Demaryius Thomas didn't. Keenum. It could have been worse. It could have been much worse. But typical Raiders. They go out there, and the Raiders are a team I despise. I know everyone's seen the stat line out there that Khalil Mack single-handedly has better stats right now than the whole Raiders defense. Going back to your point, Bruce Irvine.
Irvine.
Yeah, what do you want to say? Irvine? Whatever. Yeah, it's just it's messed up. It's messed up. I don't know what. I think the Raiders are going to be very, very bad.
Patriots versus Jags. Jags win this game 31-20. Blake Bortles 4 tutties. Tom Brady only 2.
This is one of the games in the year that Bill Belichick loses on purpose to get his team to eat some humble pie. Tell them, you're not very good. You suck at football. This team's going to whoop your ass when you play him again. He's going to get his guys all motivated. I really don't take too much stock into this football game. The Patriots will probably have home field advantage in the playoffs and beat the Jaguars in the playoffs like they beat every freaking team in the AFC.
See, that's where I agree with you that I don't think that they didn't try.
I think it happens every year.
But my point is, I don't think the Patriots are deep enough this year to be the team that they are and automatically get home field advantage. I don't. There's the Jaguars defense is for real, and it's not just a running game anymore. You see that they have some weapons there as well, with Dede Westbrook showing up a little bit. Keelan Cole, you guys have been big on him all year. They look a little bit different. I still hate Blake Bortles. Don't think he's a real quarterback, but I don't think it's a for sure thing that the Patriots are a number 1 seed.
New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys for Sunday Night Football. Cowboys win this game 20-13.
The Giants are the biggest joke in the NFL right now. I'm not a big Sam Darnold fan, but they passed on him for a freaking running back, and they don't even know how to use the running back the right way. This offense it's a complete joke. I like the Cowboys' defense. I like the scheme they run. They can get after the quarterback, but there's no way a team with playmakers like OBJ, Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard only puts 13 freaking points on the board against the Cowboys. It's a complete joke. Eli Manning is washed up, and the Giants are a really bad football team right now.
Should the Giants consider starting Kyle Luletta?
No.
I don't think it's going to make it any better, but...
No, at this point, listen, in my opinion, at this point, you need to sit down with Eli and say, if things don't change, we're going to have to start, considering our future here, and you need to do the same.
Yeah.
and at least have that conversation so that Eli Manning this probably is Eli Manning's last year. Eli Manning, they probably thought it was his last year, but because freaking Dum McAdoo benched his ass, they feel obligated now. I had an argument with a Giants fan saying, I told you that the Giants should have gone with one of the quarterbacks or even trade back a little bit and go for...
Trade to 3.
Huh?
Tell the Jets you're taking Darnold unless you trade up and get something else.
I mean, there's just so much. There's so much there, and his response was, "They're terrible. I hate them. I'm going to be a Bears fan again. The Giants are no longer my NFC team." I said, "You know what? The Giants fan base is now officially my least favorite fan base once again. Trash."
Monday night game: Seattle Seahawks at your Chicago Bears.
I'm not even going to talk about my Bears. I'll leave Tom to that. I'm going to talk about again another team. Josh, how many years in a row do I have to scream at the Seahawks of, I don't care who you take, just take an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Just take 12 sacks. I think Russ Wilson's been sacked 12 times in 2 weeks. Absolutely unbelievable. I get, the Bears defense is fantastic, but Russell Wilson is getting no help. Nothing. And let's call it like it is. He's lost a step. He's been beat up. He's getting a little bit older. He's lost a step. It's sad to see the prime years of Russell Wilson's career being thrown away by freaking old man Carroll and just a terrible organization. The fact that the NFL allowed the Seahawks to bring in Michael Kendricks, what kind of a joke move is that? The guy's facing a max of 10 to 12 years in prison.
He didn't protest the anthem, though.
Probably a minimum of 4. And I get that they'll get a due legal process. Just tell him until all the legal stuff's figured out, I'm sorry, you're not playing in our league. He admitted to doing it. Insider trading.
Yeah, you got a guy that has admitted to that, and a guy that smokes pot that's suspended for 2 or 3 years.
And the Seahawks
blows my mind.
And the Seahawks say, hey, you know what? Our linebackers are out for at least a couple weeks, and Kendricks will at least have a couple weeks, so we're going to pick him up.
Actually, on top of that, they have been talking up Shaquem Griffin all this time, and then started Kendricks above Shaquem Griffin. Kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah, overall, I was happy the outcome of this game. I really enjoy watching Khalil Mack play football. Dude, he's just a monster. Kind of annoying that all of a sudden everyone is saying, oh, he's a good football player. No shit. Like, he's been very good for a very long time, but he played with Oakland, didn't get much pub. Now he's on the Bears, a big-time market. But I'm disappointed with Matt Nagy and how he's running this offense. I'm disappointed in Mitchell Trubisky. He doesn't look very good out there. I believe Patrick Mahomes has like 2 less touchdowns than Mitch does in 3 games, and Mitch has like 14 starts. I don't know. I thought that offense would be farther along. I liked the usage of Allen Robinson. Thought the usage of Jordan Howard was absolutely terrible in this game.
I'm not going to say that Mitch Trubisky has looked completely like trash. I know Tim is going to say that he is. He has not looked very good, but he has made some good throws, and he has made some really, really bad throws. He's missed a couple wide-open guys, obviously, last week against the Packers. Everybody saw that. They even put it on primetime TV, the picture, making fun of it. It was so bad. And then the Taylor Gabriel coming across the middle, missed him wide open. He has made some poor throws.
First play of the game.
Yeah,
he overthrew Jordan Howard.
He has made some poor throws, but he has made some decent throws as well. He's just got a long way to go.
I got a couple of takeaways. I'm going to start with why does Khalil Mack get attention now and not when he was with Oakland? Same reason why, listen, Todd Gurley doesn't get nearly the attention that he deserves, and like Zeke did. When Zeke was blowing up, why? Because he's on a big-name franchise, big-name center of the country. West Coast always gets shafted. That's why that is the way that it is. In terms of the Chicago Bears, listen, Mitchell Trubisky, I don't care what anyone says, he is a bad quarterback right now. He's bad. He has, when they pre-plan the first 15 to 20 plays of the game, for those that he can prepare for all week, he is solid. He is great. He's fantastic. He cannot read a defense to save his damn life. You mentioned the overthrows. That's one thing. What about the play to Allen Robinson down the sideline that got intercepted? Allen Robinson had his cornerback beat. He had him beat. You lead him down the field and put it on the inside of that hash. That's a touchdown. At the very worst, you're within the 10-yard line. He's terrible. He's like me playing Madden, where he hikes the ball, he gets scared, turns around, square, 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 and just tries to whip it. He doesn't know what he's doing. His first instinct is he is a middle ground between he's not Sam Darnold because he's not a pocket passer, and he's not Deshaun Watson because he's not a pure rushing quarterback. He's somewhere in that middle of indecisiveness, but his first decision when there's pressure is to tuck the ball and run. It's going to cost the Bears football games. Now, the last benefit for the Bears, I love the way they're utilizing Jordan Howard. They're actually doing it the right way. I did not think that they would be able to, and they are, so props to them for doing that.
So what they need to do is just script 80% of the plays.
Can't do that.
I know, I'm joking. But yeah.
Seahawks offense, complete disaster. Russell Wilson, I think it was in the fourth quarter, kept changing the play. Schottenheimer called a timeout for no reason, and they showed the close-up on Russell Wilson's face, and he was just cussing him out, and so it's not looking good. Plus, Chris Carson was pretty much benched in the second half.
He was benched, yeah.
Because he was playing special teams. Carroll said he was gassed. What the hell?
Why do you have your starting running back playing special teams?
Why is Mike Davis getting 3 touches?
Yeah.
Pete Carroll has moved on to...
Why isn't Mike Davis on special teams and Chris Carson carrying the ball?
Oh, my God.
He's moved on to that special type of crazy old man. Like,
Dumbass.
it's just... Yeah, it is. He's on that Chip Kelly level right now.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to some of our waiver wire guys that we're going to talk about a little bit. Do you guys have a list of some guys? Joe Mixon is going to be out, so obviously Giovanni Bernard is out there. I think he is a must-add in fantasy purposes, or in all fantasy leagues, PPR and standard. Do you guys have anybody else? Philip Lindsay, if he's still out there?
Yeah, obviously him. I think a sneaky defense this week is Dallas against Seattle Seahawks. They have guys that can get after the quarterback. I think they're top 5 in sacks this year. You saw the kind of heat the last 2 teams have been able to get on Russell Wilson, so you could expect some bad throws from his part and 5 to 6 sacks.
I think the guy to look at is Chris Ivory. He should be available in a lot of leagues. I'm worried about Shady McCoy between the rib injury. I think he's going to be out this week regardless. They said a minimum of 1 week if he misses it all. I bet you they sit him. So Chris Ivory is my kind of number one go-to if you're in desperate need of running back. I think he's really the only one who I would go to.
Wide receiver real quick. The Cleveland Browns, Jarvis Landry is a little banged up. They traded away Josh Gordon. Is there an Antonio Callaway or another wide receiver for the Browns that you may be considering?
I really think Callaway should be rostered in at least 50% of the leagues right now, if not more. Got a lot of snaps this past week after not seeing many week 1. I think that number is only going to continue to go up.
He got the start this week as well.
Yeah, I think he played 80% of snaps.
I was just going to say, I like Callaway. I believe he played over 80% of the snaps. The other guy you need to look at, I know you hate the name, but he's not owned in, I believe it's only like 25% of leagues right now, is John Brown. John Brown is a part of that offense in Baltimore. That's a guy that, especially as a flex play, if I have to play when buys come up, I'm okay with that.
I actually like Rashad Higgins for the Browns as well. He had, I believe, 7 or 8 targets this week as well. It'll be very interesting to see how they divvy up those passes.
And I don't have the
Browns.
stats on him, but still, I know we brought his name up last week. Goodwin's still questionable this week. Dante Pettis seemed to be playing a pretty big role there in that offense.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our Week 3 picks, guys. That's gonna first start us off with the Browns and the Jets.
This is going to be an ugly game right now. Vegas has the total points at 39.5, which is nothing. This is going to be one of those games that's 20 to 17, 21 to 20 type game. I'm going to go with the home team, the team with the better defense. The Cleveland Browns get their first victory on the year.
Tom, I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Playboy. I think it's more. I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I would bet the over on this if I was going to bet a couple of jelly beans, strictly because it's Thursday night. They have a bunch of running backs that have been. Crowell was okay, but unsuccessful to a point, and I think they're going to come out there, and Darnold's going to learn a lesson. That front 4 for Cleveland's been sneaky good.
Oh, yeah.
Sneaky good. Garrett and who's the other guy who's
Emmanuel Agba.
Agba, thank you. Agba's been great great this season. So I just think it's going to be a shootout of types, and I'm saying combined is going to be close to like 55, 60 points.
What?
Watch it.
You're nuts.
We had the Falcons and the Eagles for week 1 on Thursday night. We had the Ravens and the Bengals week 2 Thursday night, and now we get the Browns and the Jets. I'm actually pretty excited for this game. I think it's going to be a decent game. I think it'll be kind of high scoring, 50 to 60 points, completely outlandish,
That's a lot.
completely out of the realm of possibility. I was thinking more like a combined total of like 35. But I'm going to go with the Browns.
The only thing that would make this thing more fun was if Tyrod got hurt and it was Mayfield versus Darnold.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Like if I'm you, Jackson. Listen, the Browns have done dumber things. They just got to go and Nancy Kerrigan Tyrod's knee and just bring out Baker for week 3.
How many games does it take if the Browns lose? Will they start Baker?
I don't think
6.
I don't think that's where they start. I think before they start Baker, I think Hugh gets fired. That's the first step. Yeah, they have to. At some point, especially the way they lost both those first 2 games, they have to. And now, the fact that it came out this week, like, yeah, he was injured, but we're cutting him because like that's coaching.
Coaching makes such a difference.
Oh my gosh,
this team should win 6, 7 games.
And beyond that, why not try to go and just don't put Baker in right now. It's not worth it.
Saints versus the Falcons in Atlanta.
One of my games of the week.
This should be one of the better games. 53 points right now is the projected total, so it's a pretty high scoring game. Both teams are dome teams. They'll be playing inside the dome in Atlanta. I'm going to go with the road upset. I'm going to go with the Saints winning this football game. That Atlanta Falcons defense is a little bit weak right now.
Looked good last week.
They look pretty good against Cam Newton, but I think the Saints are a different animal. I think Drew Brees is a better overall quarterback, and I just don't think they have enough to stop Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara.
I just really want Michael Thomas not to fumble the ball again. He's done that in 2 back-to-back games. But I'm going to go with the Saints as well.
He's getting like 13 catches a game.
I know.
I think he'll manage. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons. At home, I'm not necessarily confident in it. These NFC South matchups are so close. They're always back and forth. They're always shootouts. It's always it's so hard to tell. So I'm going to rely on the home field advantage. You saw it, the same thing last week where Atlanta being at home was kind of the difference there. I'm going to bank on that again.
Bills, Vikings win. Next game.
Yeah, Vikings 16.5 point favorites.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
This should be like your lock of the week.
Yeah, Cincinnati Bengals at the Carolina Panthers.
If Joe Mixon was playing, I think I'd be more on board with the Cincinnati Bengals right now.
Yeah.
I think he completely changes that offense in general. I'm going to go with the home team, the Panthers. They're only 3-point favorites right now, but they're going to have to pass the football to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Cam Newton's going to be able to do enough.
I agree with you.
I do not.
Wow.
I'm going to go outside. I think Andy Dalton is thinking to himself with his little Mormon face that this is the year I finally make a statement and make Marvin Lewis no longer on the hot seat like he's been for the last decade and a half. And I put the Bengals on the map. We start 3-0, get out to a nice big lead here. They had a long week to prepare for the Panthers, where the Panthers had a very, very tough division game just a week ago. So give me the Bengals. Give me Giovanni Bernard, A.J. Green, all those guys. Tyler Eifert, big day.
Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens.
I feel like this game should be closer than Vegas thinks right now. 5-point favorites for the Ravens right now. They are at home. I'm gonna follow Vegas on this. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think Joe Flacco will be able to do enough. I think that Ravens defense will be able to shut down the Denver Broncos offense this week.
I see this being a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Low-scoring, but I think the Broncos have enough. I think that combination of Lindsey and
Royce.
Thank you, Royce Freeman is as frustrating as it can be at times for fantasy owners, is going to be very, very exciting for the Denver Broncos because they're going to be able to just continue to swap guys out, keep fresh legs on the field. And Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas did have 3 drops last week, like we alluded to, but both of them have been performing a little bit better than I thought they would be, in all honesty. Both fantasy relevant, and I just think that the Broncos have once Case Keenum figures out how to run that offense, it's going to all work itself out, and I think this week is the start of that.
Baltimore Ravens for me. As much as I like Case Keenum, the way he manages games, I think this running game this week is going to get shut down.
I'm going to start calling
by the Ravens.
Case Keenum the Michael Scott of the NFL.
The great Case Keenum, by the way. Green Bay Packers versus the Washington Redskins.
Which Washington Redskins team is going to show up? The team that beat the living crap out of the Cardinals, or the team that got their ass kicked by the Colts, which doesn't happen too often? They were out-muscled on the defensive line, on the offensive line. I think the Packers match up pretty well with the Redskins. I think Aaron Rodgers looked okay last week. I think he's getting healthier each week. I think the Packers are going to feast in this football game. They're going to make the Redskins regret getting rid of Kirk Cousins.
I think the Packers and the Redskins are very similar teams. The only difference is the Packers have Aaron Rodgers and the Redskins have Alex Smith. The Packers win this game big, not even close. You say that the Colts dominated. The Packers are going to win this game by probably 3 touchdowns.
I got the Packers in this game as well.
Only 3-point favorites, Packers.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Well, road game, though. That means that they're 10-point favorites.
Now it's like 3 automatic.
3 automatic for the home team. Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I haven't heard yet if Marcus Mariota is playing in this football game.
Doesn't matter. They got the great Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, Gabbert's fantastic, but I'm not a believer in this Tennessee Titans football team.
No.
I'm just not a believer in Vrabel. I don't think they're going to have anything for the Jacksonville Jaguars in this matchup. But this is the type of game that Blake Bortles comes out and just shits the bed and loses. But I'm going to have to take Jacksonville at home.
Jacksonville for me as well.
Blaine was a former Jaguar.
Yeah.
I actually initially had, not right now I didn't change it, but earlier I was going to pick the Titans, and I just thought to myself, there's just no way if Blaine Gabbert can go into Jacksonville. So give me the Jaguars as well.
I'm half expecting a rap song from Jalen Ramsey about Blaine Gabbert sometime this week. So hopefully we get to see
defensive.
that. It's so funny. So I'm hoping to see that. Your Colts versus the Eagles, Tom.
It's a big game for the Colts. You know, Frank Reich won a Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator with the Eagles. Carson Wentz is back. And that Eagles team's kind of limping around right now. A lot of receivers out. They got some cornerbacks out. That defense is kind of limping around. They just got torched by the great Ryan Fitzmagic. I'm going to go the upset. I'm taking my Colts. Can't go against them. I think they're going to go in Philly. They know this football team. They should have a couple tricks up their sleeves. I think they get the win.
Tom. Carson Wentz is returning. Our Lord and Savior.
Be rusty.
Carson Wentz. I agree with you. I mean, you also mentioned for our the Eagles head coach,
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson came out today and said it's likely that he wouldn't be surprised if Jay Ajayi sits on Sunday. You know, they're running out of people in Philadelphia, but the Colts defense, while there are some high spots, still scares me a little bit. I think it's going to be a shootout as well. And the Eagles, they're at home. Andrew Luck gets his feelings hurt by some of those folks over at Lincoln Financial. And the Eagles win a close one, 43-41.
All overs, baby.
With Wentz coming back, I really like Wentz and the Eagles this week. So I'm going to tend to go towards the Eagles in this matchup. I still think it's going to be a close one because J.J. is most likely going to be out. I think Alshon Jeffrey's still going to be out, even though they're saying that he might be able to play. I doubt it.
Touchdown favorites, the Eagles right now.
Yeah, I
think that's high.
Yeah, it's very high. So, moving on, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is Patrick Mahomes' first home game. It's his first time playing at Arrowhead. I think they're in for a treat. This is going to be one of those shootout type football games.
No, they played
Nope.
At KC. Oh no, they played in Pittsburgh. You're right.
Nope. They've been on the road all 3 of his starts in the NFL. 56 points is what they're projecting for this football game, which is a lot. So expect a lot more touchdowns for Patty Mahomes. I think the Chiefs are going to get this one done.
If you're wondering, I'm going the over. With that
92 points.
Maybe that's the NFL we live in now. I bet you if you continually all year long bet all the games to be over, you would be up in money. It's just going to end up that way.
Yeah.
Listen, you have the Patrick Mahomes of last year and Jimmy G against the Patrick Mahomes of this year, Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be fantastic. I just think that one Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go out there and say, oh, I forgot, the Kansas City Chiefs secondary is trash. San Francisco's defense is a little bit better, not a lot, than what Kansas City's faced so far this year. So give me the San Francisco 49ers to win in a shocker, 31-28.
I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense is just going to be too much for the San Francisco 49ers. That Niners team need a running game. It's Alfred Morris and Matt Breida. Breida did have over 100 yards last week, but still it is not. It's not what they want. It's not
Joe Williams.
Yeah, it's not Jerick McKinnon. So it's not Carlos Hyde from last year.
Trade for Love Bill.
Oakland Raiders, that would be interesting. Oakland Raiders at the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins, probably the biggest surprise at 2-0 this year. I'm undefeated picking them this year. I've picked them to win both their football games.
I believe I as well.
I'm going to pick them to win this week as well. The Raiders are going across country all the way into Miami. And I think Ryan Tannehill and Adam Gase just outsmart John Gruden.
Let me tell you about this game right here. The Oakland Raiders are going to go into Miami, and they're going to finally get their first win for Chucky. Ryan Tannehill, he's still Ryan Tannehill. He's got lucky with the teams that he's had to face thus far. The Dolphins are not very good, and the Raiders finally find a way to piece things together, get that first victory, and I think a late fumble recovery. Ryan Tannehill fumbles the ball. The Raiders run it in for a touchdown, and they win the game 36-31.
36-31. Miami Dolphins for me. I think that the defense is just too good, and I actually think Kenyon Drake is going to have a game. 2 touchdowns, 75 yards rushing.
Oh.
New York Giants at the Houston Texans.
2 big-time disappointments this year. I really don't know who to pick here. I'm just going to go with the home team, Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson. He's been able to do more than Eli has. We'll see if Jadeveon Clowney plays this week and see if J.J. Watt can get it going. That offensive line for the Giants is still trash, even though all the money and draft picks they spent on it, along with a couple injuries right now. Houston should be able to get this W.
I think you're downplaying the injuries there a little bit. If they were healthy, I feel like they would be much better. But those injuries, when you're thin there, you're thin there. And the injuries have really, really hurt them. Having 2 guys on IR, it's going to be a big effect. I think this will make the Texans look like a real team again. And the Texans win this game by a touchdown.
I'm going to go with the Texans. I think the Giants are trash. They're just hot garbage right now. I don't know. They don't know how to use Saquon Barkley.
Nope.
Obviously, that offensive line is not very good. I just don't know what the Giants are doing. I hate everything about them.
They're turning Barkley into freaking Paul Perkins.
I'm cool with them getting 14 receptions again.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Texans for me. Moving on, LA Chargers at the LA Rams.
The Battle of LA. No one in that area gives a shit about this football game.
Nope.
The NFL made a mistake going out there. I'm going to go with the better football team, the Los Angeles Rams. I think Phillip Rivers makes it somewhat interesting, kind of does what he always does, comes back, gets a bunch of garbage time points there with against the Rams, but the Rams are just a better football team overall.
I'm surprised that the NFL didn't put this game in Mexico because the LA fans are so terrible. They're immediately regretting their decision of putting NFL teams back in Los Angeles. As it turns out, all those hipster weirdos are not good people. But give me the Rams. They win 10-3.
Rams defense 10-3. Rams defense has been lights out so far this year. I like the Rams a lot against the Chargers, especially if Melvin Gordon's hurting, like I think he's going to be for this game. But then again, you could say the same thing for Todd Gurley as well. But I think the Rams
Todd
defense
Gurley was just cramping last week.
Yeah, but we'll see how that goes. I think the Rams are just going to be a little bit too much on defense for the Chargers. So Rams for me.
Agree.
Bears versus Cardinals. Bears. Come on, guys.
It has to be the Bears. I think. I feel bad for the Cardinals. Keep facing all these teams with good pass rushers, and it continues this week. The Bears have a good chance at shutting this football team out.
I want to say I actually bet the Bears. I actually had it like 4.5. The Bears were minus 4.5. I bet it because I was really confident with how bad the Seahawks were, and I want to do that. But this is so Bears. to go to Arizona against a bad quarterback, against a team that's been struggling so heartily, and then just lay an egg and let a David Johnson blow up for some reason. I'm really hoping I'm wrong. I'm picking the Bears. I'm picking them to win big. Please prove me wrong, Bears.
Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, my.
Right now, 58% of the people picking this game on ESPN have the Seahawks winning. I don't get that at all. I understand they are at home. I think that's their first home game on the year. But Dallas, the way they can get after the passer, the way Jalen Smith is playing football right now, the kid looks 100% healthy. I think they're going to be able to get it going. I think they'll be able to run the football. And if they could run the football, they're going to win this football game. Dallas wins big.
Zeke is going to have his coming out party this week. Zeke is going to blow up. He's going to have 160 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
I have the Dallas Cowboys winning. Seahawks are garbage.
Yeah, I was picking the Cowboys. Yeah.
No. Patriots at the Lions.
The only really cool thing about this football game is Matt Patricia against the Patriots.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a good storyline. I don't think the Lions really have even like a puncher's chance. Patriots are going to be pissed off. They had a rough game last week against the Jaguars. And Tom Brady's going to have himself a day. Let's see if Josh Gordon gets on the field. It could be some fireworks on Sunday night.
Start your Patriots.
The only good thing about this game is that the peasants of Detroit get to see Tom Brady in their city for like a couple of hours before he runs out of there as fast as he can. This is similar to when like the Pope goes to like a random like third world country. This is very similar.
Monday, I'm going to the Patriots. Monday night game, the Steelers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I will go first, guys. I have picked against the Buccaneers so far twice this year, and I've been wrong. I am going to go with the Steelers this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hopefully I'm wrong again.
Trying to use that voodoo so your team gets to 3-0. I've been proud of your team. I've actually been happy for you, believe it or not. But with that said, the circus comes to Tampa Bay, and they pull off a win. Big Ben still Big Ben. You got Mullet Man JC and Antonio Brown, and the biggest guy that's not been talked about nearly enough, Juju Smith-Schuster, just saying, you know what, Le'Veon Bell's gone. I'm going to take all that production and run with it. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers by a couple tutties.
This should be a good football game. Everyone is surprised right now with these teams' records. If you thought before, or if you looked before the year, you would have thought Pittsburgh was 2-0 and the Bucs were 0-1-1. I think most people can agree on that. We'll see what happens when the circus does come to town, but I got to go with the Steelers. I just think they're a better football team.
They are.
I don't think Fitzmagic's that good. He keeps putting up 400-yard games.
Remember, though, the Steelers are on the road.
Yeah. That Big Ben normally struggles on the road. I don't know. I just think they're missing Le'Veon Bell a lot right now. James Conner is no Lev Bell. They can't rely on that run game. We've seen the last 6 quarters, James Conner has averaged like 2.7 yards per attempt. It's not good.
See how it goes.
Pay Le'Veon Bell.
Highest scoring game.
Let's see.
I think they're all high scoring.
Tim's going to go with the Browns and Jets. I'm going to go with the Chiefs and Niners.
That was going to be my pick. Go ahead, Josh.
I'm going to go Saints and Falcons.
I'll go Patriots Lions.
All right. Lowest scoring game.
Jets Browns. 13-6.
Bears Cardinals. Bears 12, Cardinals 0.
What game? Chargers Rams. I predicted 10-3, so.
All right, fair enough. Anything else, guys?
That's all I got. There's a lot of good games this week.
Yeah.
Excited about the Monday night, Sunday night.
Good week to watch some football. Yeah. So.
Is this the last week before the byes? Byes start week 4 or week 5?
Byes start week 4. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey, the Panthers.
Yeah.
So enjoy. Last time for 8 weeks. More than that. 10 weeks.
Week 13, I think, is the last.
The byes end. So you guys saw 10 weeks there, roughly 9-10 weeks.
I hate how the NFL does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So enjoy this weekend.
All right. So that's all we have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the recap of Week 2 and our predictions for Week 3. And you guys can always follow us on Twitter at PonyKickSports, at Pony_Keg_Tom, and at FightTalkTim. Email us ponykicksports@gmail.com. And until next time.
Peace!